All the way back in 2004, Rockstar Games released Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for the PlayStation 2, and even today in 2025, it's still considered to be one of the greatest video games of all time. Its narrative, newly added features, a weekly calendar cycle, and its customization ability has cemented this title in the minds of gamers. As the years progressed, Rockstar continued on with the GTA franchise, such as GTA 4 and 5, and of course the upcoming and eagerly awaited GTA 6, as well as an array of spin-off titles such as Liberty City and Vice City stories, but none quite matched the level and bar that San Andreas had set. In today's video, we'll be discussing some of the aspects of this hit title that makes it, even today, stand head and shoulders above its successors, in my personal opinion at least. Welcome to the video. You're listening to Phil of Philby Gaming. If you enjoy the following, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, after watching, please consider doing so. Without further delay, let's begin with today's content. So let's begin with a breakdown of the narrative to San Andreas. I'm sure that most old school gamers, as well as newer ones, may be familiar with this, so let's make it brief. We step into the shoes of Carl Johnson, CJ, a character brought to life by hip-hop artist Young Melee. CJ returns home to San Andreas following the death of his mother, where he had fled following the death of his brother Brian, an unexplained death that CJ was playing for 5 years prior, but is greeted with a cold response. And after finally making it to his family home, then soon reunited with his siblings, Sweet and Kendall, he learns the district of Grove Street he once called home and the gang of Grove Street, who he once considered family, are struggling to survive as set-tripping gang deformation has reared its ugly head and spread this once close group thin, whilst rivaling factions such as the Ballers of Argos seize control of the surrounding territories. CJ attempts to rebuild not only his gang, but connections with his family, in a tale that traverses our protagonist across 3 cities in the state of San Andreas. Los Santos with its surrounding countryside based in Los Angeles, San Fierro with its outskirting freeways based on San Francisco, and the casino strips of Las Venturas centralized by a desert region based on Las Vegas. Throughout the journey, CJ meets an array of colourful and memorable characters, as well as enduring a captivating story that's serious when it needs to be, as well as highlighting comical input. But for those who have yet to experience the title for themselves, I'll leave this section as it is right there to avoid spoilers. So let's continue with our topics, beginning with the world of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas itself. As aforementioned, the state of San Andreas consists of 3 separate cities and their respective surroundings, narratively beginning with Los Santos. Based on real-world Los Angeles, California, the setting heavily emphasizes around gang-related activity, as well as the scandals of the LSPD, somewhat based on the real-world shenanigans of the early 1990s. Later travelling to San Fierro, the game introduces us further to gang activity, but focuses more on business building and production as CJ attempts to further its legacy. San Fierro showcases the memorable street design similar to that of San Francisco. Much later, CJ heads to Las Venturas. Based on real-world Las Vegas, the area truly brings to life the glitz and glamour of casinos with lights, colours and noise, as well as accurately portraying its surrounding deserts. The environment and atmosphere in each are unique, with each giving off a different vibe. You could literally just close your eyes and listen, and you'll know exactly what district of San Andreas you're in. Rockstar Games studied each of the city's real-world counterparts in an attempt to accurately produce a replica the gamer could enjoy, whether it be wearing your colours in Los Santos, pimping your ride in Fierro, or gambling away your earnings in Venturas. There's always something to do or see. The map itself is approximately 6 times larger than that of its predecessor, GTA Vice City, standing in at over 38 square kilometers, and considering this is a PlayStation 2 title, that's truly some feat. Even GTA 4 had a little over 16. The world is based off an iconic timeline, especially the city of Los Santos, which derives heavily from the hip-hop culture that was popularized by such names as Eazy-E, Tupac and Ice Cube. It even delves as deep as, instead of solely a day and night cycle, but also days of the week. And why is this important? Because some specific events only occur or are interactable on certain days, such as the triathlon, which only occurs during the weekends. Areas also populate differently depending on the time of day itself. You're more likely to find beach parties, for example, during night times and weekends, as opposed to midday during the week. the loading screens when travelling between two cities or districts, for example, something of which we witnessed in the likes of Vice City, have been scrapped entirely, and given the amassed size of San Andreas and the console it was originally produced on, it was near enough unheard of. The scenery setting, such as sky colour, was also innovated. This doesn't feel like the grey and linear atmosphere of GTA 3 anymore. Rockstar really went all out to make the world feel authentic. The orange skies of Los Santos, for example. I won't pretend to be an expert on graphical aspects because I'm truly not, but I think you get what I mean. The landmarks of the world are memorable and often based on real-world designs, such as the dam, the bridges, and the casino strips of Las Venturas, replicating Vegas. Extensive research was implemented by Rockstar to ensure that each area felt unique and as a cultural setting was as accurate as possible. Even the in-game radio was dramatically improved. For example, there are multiple intros and outros to each song, making it feel as if you're listening to the same station on separate occasions. Plus, the radio hosts also comment on their current or recent in-game events, as opposed to later titles such as GTA 5, where we would have a breaking news input. For example, Julio, who hosts Radio Los Santos, the title's hip-hop music station, often comments on gang activity and the current situation of it. Plus, aside from all that, the narrative is told through a wide array of talent. We know that Rockstar Games later opted to use lesser-known figures when creating the GTA titles due to what they described as diva-like behaviour, but San Andreas brought us memorable characters. The aforementioned Young Melee, Samuel L. Jackson, Chris Penn, Yo-Yo and Danny Dyer making a return, all but to name a few. The game also birthed the rumours of many urban legends, sending players on hunting missions to seek what others claimed to have found. Bear in mind, this was a time when the internet didn't have all the answers, so trolls could easily fool people into believing sightings to be true, most famously the urban legend of Bigfoot, which was of course a fable. Others include haunted towns and the ghost of Beverly Johnson, CJ's mother. But aside from the world and setting itself, what else can we discuss? How about the side content and incredible customization one could experience during downtime? Beginning with the customization, GTA San Andreas went above and beyond its predecessors and even today is still considered to be head and shoulders above newer titles. For starters, we got to completely customize the character of Carl Johnson himself. In Vice City, we were given a few clothing options for Tommy Vercetti, but Rockstar went all out with San Andreas. Not only could we individually customize CJ's clothing options, as well as hair and beard styles, the latter of which was severely stripped in titles such as GTA 5, but we could alter the physical appearance of CJ himself. Want a thinner CJ? Go running. Want a heavier set guy? Eat junk food. Want a muscle-bound Adonis? Hit the gym. CJ could also learn new fighting styles too, should he wish to do so. Different body shapes and stamina rating would also affect CJ's maneuver. A thinner CJ is able to move quicker when running and vaulting obstacles, where a larger frame would slow him down. Also, a more muscular CJ would of course be stronger than a skinnier one. NPCs of the world would also make comment on CJ's appearance, similar to what Rockstar brought back in Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes, this had been done before the 2018 smash hit. General character stats were further advanced too, such as shooting, stealth and swimming. For example, the higher the shooting level, CJ would not only become more accurate with the weapon, but would hold it more professionally too, and depending on the weapon type, if his stat was high enough, he would dual wield, doubling his firepower. But it wasn't just CJ that we could customize. What about the cars of the world? Instead of simply changing the body colour and plates in hopes of evading the law, we could now add and customize aspects of cars. Different bumpers, hard or soft top, nitrous oxide, hydraulics, custom paint jobs, yes, it was all there. Aside from just being able to customize the vehicles, Rockstar also introduced a wide array of new types, including new cars, boats, planes and helicopters, and even a jetpack. Over 200 different vehicle types in total, each handling uniquely. The ride would certainly feel different in a sports car as opposed to a box van. And what of the gameplay features? What made GTA San Andreas stand out in this respect? We've already mentioned the weapon handling and stats, but what else do we have? Well, there's the stamina rating, sex appeal, driving skills, which by the way can be greatly improved by visiting schools. Yes, that's a thing. Swimming, skill upgrades, as well as my favourite, trip skip. So with the gameplay aspect discussed, What else is there to experience? Well, let's take a look at some of the features available in this 2004 title. Well, there's a lot, so let's go through a list with hopes I don't miss any out. San Andreas has bomb shops where you can fit devices to your vehicle, an import and export car business, BMX challenges, as well as lowrider competitions, and the aforementioned triathlon, as well as driving, boat and plane schools. There's also plenty of side missions to earn you some pocket change. These missions include pimping, house burglaries, gasoline tanker deliveries, business assets, courier, quarry, valeting, freight train, stadium activities in which CJ can put his driving skills to the test, or try their luck at casinos and track betting facilities across the map. But what if the player isn't solely interested in making money? What if they just want a little downtime? Well, San Andreas has got you covered there too. You can go dancing, dating, play pool or basketball, access arcade machines, territory takeovers against rivaling gangs such as the Ballers or Vargos, where you're also able to recruit an array of Grove Street gang members to assist you, spraying over enemy gang tags, collecting oysters and other hidden items, change the moon size by sniping at it should you wish to do so, escape the long arm of the law with up to a 6-star wanted level, something of which was decreased in later titles, and more importantly, jump into a co-op game with a friend where you can roam the streets of San Andreas and partake in activities together. You can also spend time by delivering food, taxiing, vigilante and ambulance missions, as well as using local airports to travel in between cities. All in all, GTA San Andreas will not leave you short on things to do. So even though it's a little over 20 years old, because of the aspects we've discussed, plus much more, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is often considered one of the greatest video games of all time, even by today's standards. As the years passed, Rockstar Games would begin to divert their focus a little. For example, they dropped the celebrity casting and opted for lesser known individuals, and although they may have had their reasons, it was still a bit of a shame. In GTA 4, they focused primarily on the narrative, and in GTA 5, it felt more that they were showcasing the console's capability in terms of graphics. The later titles sacrificed many of the much-loved features of the earlier GTA games, such as the lack of customization in 4 and 5, and although the latter improved a little, San Andreas left those titles in the dust with many aspects. So let me know in the comment section your thoughts on this title, and if you feel it was better or worse than the later Grand Theft Autos. As always, if you enjoyed what you saw today, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Thank you all for watching. You've been listening to Phil of Philby Gaming, and I'll see you in the next video.